Hi, I'm Ashton. Just a quick intro. This video could easily be triggering. I'm talking about trauma. I don't talk about any specifics or any actual situations, but, the general gist of things can still be a sensitive topic, so watch this with your own discretion. If I know you in real life, please don't watch this unless I've talked about this with you before, like one-on-one. I understand that I can't stop you from watching it, but I would really prefer if you would respect how I would like to share this and just hold off and please don't watch this. Okay, bye. But yeah, now that those people are gone, this video is a mess. The footage is over an hour long and I'm cutting out a lot of it because I mentioned names and stuff. I'm still not entirely sure why I'm posting this, but I feel like I kind of explained that in the video, so here you go. Go to last night, Ashton. Hi. I don't know where this video is gonna go, but if I post it, I feel like I'm gonna do a separate intro, just because I know I need to say a few things about this. I don't have this energy to say them now. So this summer, my plan in therapy is to start tackling my trauma, which I already know is going to be really difficult for me. I'm literally about to cry already. I'm like 30 seconds in, I can't do this. I've tried to make videos about what happened before, not even what happened, just how it affects me, and I've never been able to post it or even edit it because I watch a minute and then I'm like, I can't. As I've started talking about it in therapy a little bit more, and knowing that I'm gonna have to go in deeper to it in the summer, I don't feel like I'm obligated to share it with you guys, but I feel like it'll be healing for me, and if anyone else is in a similar situation, I want them to know that they're not alone. Which, is kind of the whole message of my channel in the first place. I'm not going to use a mic in this video. I'm going to edit as much as I normally do because I know it's going to be hard. But I want you guys to know that as much as I talk about mental health on this channel, I'm not as open as I could be. And there's more to my mental health than even I realize a lot of the times. It also turns out that I could very well have more trauma than I originally thought. Something happened to me when I was very young that was traumatic, and I still struggle with it today. But there's more of a long-term trauma thing that's really common among LGBT people, known as religious trauma. And after talking to my therapist about that, I'm just like, But that's also something that I feel like I've coped with myself better than I have learned to cope with what happened to me when I was younger. And it's difficult because when I say my trauma in this case, I'm just going to be that refers to what happened when I was younger, and I don't want to talk about it right now. Maybe I will in the future when I've done more trauma work. But right now, I just kind of want to talk about its effects. For one, when I talk about it, right now, I'm getting really shaky, and I physically feel like I'm gonna throw up. But I know I'm not going to. I've never thrown up because of it, but it feels like I'm going to, and I know that's related to what happened. I'm getting chills, and I feel gross, and it's worse even because I feel so guilty talking about it. Because I've talked about OCD and depression and anxiety and even autism before, but I don't have a diagnosis of PTSD. I just have the knowledge that I went through trauma and it impacts my life in a way that I currently can't fully understand, and I'm gonna have to go through intense therapy to overcome that. I've talked about my trauma with my boyfriend and a friend of mine that has also experienced trauma in the past. And even then, it's difficult for me to specify. I've only talked about what really happened with my boyfriend because I feel so close to him, and he's really currently the only person I'm comfortable with knowing what happened. Because even thinking about it, is even just thinking about what did happen, it's difficult for me to say or even remember sometimes. The day I'm filming this is Wednesday. I have therapy every other Tuesday, and we talked a little bit about some of the things that trauma has affected in my life. And one of those things happens to be intimacy, because my trauma is related to that. And I just feel so guilty about it, because I feel like I can't be a normal teenager or a normal person until I understand and get over what happened, but that's such a difficult thing to do. And I feel like it's gonna take all summer, if not longer. I know I have people that support me. I have friends that, you know, tell me all the time, like, hey, if you do need someone to talk to, I'm here, and I do talk to them about things, but this feels like a different part of me is so ingrained and happened so long ago that I'm just so disconnected from it, but at the same time inherently a slave to it. And I know I'm gonna be I know I'm gonna feel guilty about posting this, and I know I'm gonna get comments like, you know, oh, don't feel guilty, but like, I can't help it, I'm sorry. I feel guilty being in a relationship because I've been dating Jack for over 2 years now, but my trauma still affects me in a way that I feel like I can't fully be in a relationship, because it still pulls me back from doing so many things and from feeling like myself in certain situations. And it pops up at like the most inconvenient times. In my civics class last year, we had a discussion about sexual assault, and because the way that my teacher taught and still does teach, I'm assuming he plays devil's advocate, and he said things that, even though I knew he didn't mean, it still got me in a way that I couldn't move, and I was so shaky I couldn't do anything about it. And I hate being so incapacitated like that. I feel useless, and I feel guilty about putting something this negative onto my channel, but I feel like it's something that you guys deserve to know, because it does impact me on such a large scale, even if it's like in two ways. I hate crying. I know this is something that needs to be talked about, and I know that a way that I can heal is to talk about it and be open about not even what happened, but just how it's affected me and how I'm learning to heal and put myself back together. But I feel like I'm so shit at that, and it's been, you know, 10, 11 years, but it's still something that impacts me on a daily basis. Sometimes even when I make videos about my depression or my OCD, I think like how much of this is because of my trauma, how much of my, you know, numb depression feeling is because of what happened and is because I haven't dealt with it. And do I really have depression, or am I just like a trauma-based blob of nothing? I just feel like so much of who I am, even the apologetic and insecure parts of me, I feel like so much of it stems from trauma, but even though I know that logically, that's a difficult thing for me to emotionally accept. Man, I've done mental health updates before, but I've never talked about this. This feels different. You know, I see people talking all the time about having anxiety or depression or OCD and being in a relationship. And that's great. I'm glad that stuff is out there. I've made videos similar to that, I'm sure. But for me, I feel, I don't want to say that those mental health issues are, you know, not as bad as having trauma, but I don't know how to explain it any other way. Maybe those mental health issues are less stigmatized than having trauma, is what I'm trying to say. Because I can talk about it with Jack, but I feel like if I were to put it out there, I'd just get a lot of like, no, like the bad, you know, the insecure thoughts that you have are right, and you shouldn't be in a relationship if you're still dealing with stuff like that, and you you shouldn't be intimate with anyone until you've dealt with it yourself. But I know that's not true for me. I feel like I'm tricking people almost in a way that, like, you know, when I open up my videos, like, hi, I'm Ashton, I'm gonna be talking about depression or whatever. Like, that is me, but I feel like I'm hiding so much by not talking about this. But I break down so easily talking about it that, you know, a video like this isn't gonna be productive. It's just gonna be, I don't know, sad. I feel guilty making people worry about me, and even though I know logically it's the right thing to do, I still emotionally and mentally, I guess, feel like I'm never in the right. If my septum ring keeps, like, going in different whatever, it's because I'm blowing my nose a lot, okay? I'm crying. I'm sorry. I don't want to say shit like this because it sounds so negative, but with, you know, the Me Too movement and stuff, it's like, yeah, that's incredible, and I'm really glad stuff like that's happening, but for me, when I see stuff like that, I don't think about, oh, this is gonna change the world, you know? I don't think about, this is gonna make more people aware. I just go back to what happened to me, and it just reminds me of things like that. And instead of it being healing and empowering for me, it's just scary. And it reminds me too much of what happened to me, that when something's supposed to be a political movement and something that I would stand for, it's something that when I say the words, I can't help but shake. I'm so bad with words. And you guys don't see that part of me because I get to edit and I get to cut out things and say things multiple times when I need to. I feel like I can never express anything in a healthy way that I need to, because I know if I do post this, I'm gonna get comments like, you're so strong and you're so brave for speaking up about this, but this isn't brave. I'm scared, and it's not brave for me to just talk about something that I live through every day, something that makes me break down and makes me shake and go nonverbal. And on one hand, I don't know what parts of me are me and what parts of me are due to the trauma that I experienced. But I think what I'm trying to learn for myself is that it doesn't matter where a part of my personality came from. Because regardless if it's because of how I was raised or my genetics, or if it did come from trauma, maybe that's still part of who I am. And who I am, I feel like, should be allowed to come from different places, because what I went through shaped me, and whether that's in a negative or a neutral or even a positive way, it doesn't matter, because it still happened and it still impacts who I am and how I express things. I want more than anything to be able to get over my trauma and be able to erase the insecurities that it's caused, and to be whoever I am without it. But I'm scared because I don't know who I am without it. I don't know what I would be like if I did heal from this, and if my trauma no longer affected me. Would I be a different person? I don't know, because I don't remember being there, and I'm scared, and I don't want to be scared. I want to be confident that not if, but when I recover, I'm gonna be happier. But even from just what I've already been through, I know that recovery is so difficult, and I'm so scared that when I do more therapy this summer surrounding it, and when I talk about it more, I'm just gonna fall into a hole, and I'll be an even worse person. I think recording this helped in a way. Talking about what happened freely like I am now isn't something I've done before, but talking like this and knowing that I can edit out me bursting into tears or me accidentally saying her name, knowing that I can control at least this little part of my trauma, that feels good. Back to Ashton that's not crying, I guess. I better film an outro for this too when I'm more myself. Okay. I'm not entirely sure why I didn't just outro there. I wasn't myself. If you made it through this, I'm genuinely shocked, and thank you for listening to me rant. Even if, you know, you're not technically with me, I still really appreciate it. I'm sorry this was such a depressing video, but I had some happy ones this week, so it's fine, right? I hope that if you too are struggling with trauma, that you also realize some things and get help and feel better soon. And if you're not, I hope that you can understand and realize how lucky you are. And I will talk to you later, maybe.